Why? Why are you small?
Greetings.
Welcome back. You are back in Moscow. Welcome back to another episode of the DD Geopolitics show. We're not allowed to call it a stream anymore. The Slavs have spoken. They said we're not allowed to call it a stream anymore because the streamers in the United States are retarded. I don't disagree. I think we're going to talk about that a little bit, but yeah. A lot of you probably noticed that I deactivated my Twitter. I did not get banned. I will never get banned ever. But because I'm smart. But there are a plethora of reasons why I deactivated. So if you're interested, because I obviously won't be doing it on a space, I have my list here. First and foremost, the discourse is bad. It's toxic, it's low IQ, and it is incredibly bad faith. Like the quality of the discourse has collapsed. And I just decided, like, I'm not interested in spending my time arguing with people who aren't capable of critical thought. Like, my time and attention are finite and I'm getting old and I need to protect them. Plus, there's like a slew of bad actors like on my ass who like all they do is engagement farm off of me and like repost my like screenshots of my posts. It's like bizarre. So you guys have to find another a source of material, or you'll have to watch my stream and clip it. Yeah, I said if you're gonna clip me in spaces, I'm gonna leave spaces. You can clip the stream. You'll have to watch. You'll have to watch it then. Second, I'm completely doxxed. Okay, I'm fully doxxed. There's my entire private life is completely online. I guess I probably could say the same for Chris. So having to deal with the nons that come at me with like all of this ammunition and think that they know my entire personal life is ridiculous. I don't have to deal with this. I don't owe these people anything at all. Like my personal life, my location, my history, it's all public. So the people that harass me can sit behind anonymity. Like that's not a healthy balance of power. I refuse to, I'm not going to engage in that. The streamers, everything is fake and gay. Everything is fake and gay. Did you?
By the way, since when did Nazis become cool again?
Wait. Wow. Cool. That word's doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Right.
Change the music, obviously, because I didn't want to give the producer another chore after. He would have had to clip the music out because it's Kanye West. Not because we don't like the song. I love the song; it's a banger. But we can't have Hail Hitler on the stream show because it doesn't align with our political views.
Oh,
and I think it might be copyrighted or something. Probably. Anyway,
I assume so.
Okay. Regardless, if you don't, the jig is up. Do you guys get now why we're defending pedophilia on Twitter? Because we're hanging out with human traffickers. Cool, right? But we don't like Israel or something. So we're cool. Not to mention, the majority of the people sitting on that bus are managed by Jews. So what are we talking about? They said, oh, we're the people against Talmudic ownership. All your managers are Jewish. I don't have a problem with you having Jewish managers, but don't sell me a lie at the same time. Like, if you're going to get your bag with your Jewish manager, you're not going to do it telling everybody you're anti-Zionist and you're anti-Jewish power. Like, I know it's ridiculous. Not to mention, you're like, I love this. The Russians are so funny because they're looking at this and they're like, why are black people why are black people hailing Hitler? And so I think The producer sent me something. Where did it go? And he sent us this little thing. He goes, one of the Russians saw the video. They said, retard. Bibi like them. Bibi Netanyahu. Bibi like them. It makes it even easier to discredit whites.
Maybe it's some 5D chess. Who knows?
Wow. So the Russians understand the United States streamers better than Americans do. Bibi like them. It this makes it easier to discredit whites. So I hope you guys all know like what you're like doing. Like this shit is fake and gay. As soon as I deactivated before that, but as soon as I saw that, I said, "Oh, I'm like psychic. I'm psychic. This is completely fake and gay. The whole entire Charlie Kirk aftermath, completely fake and gay. All these people are friends with Candace, and then Nick was the one who was battling her. But Myron and the Tates are all good friends with Candace. Come on now. Is Bannon the one driving the bus? Might as well. Plus, Thiel money backs a couple of these dudes in there. I won't mention any names, and we also see that who's gearing up for a 2028 run. JD Vance, Peter Thiel's test tube baby. And this is why I left Twitter, because people aren't smart enough to even put these things together. I don't want to fight with people who are telling me that these guys are in good faith or that they're authentic or they mean what they say. I'm not going to argue with this anymore. It's retarded and it's a waste of my time. The lack of common sense. Okay. In 1 week we have, and we're going to talk about this more too. In one same week, we have Jake Lang goes into Minnesota to harass people with Qurans. ICE descends upon the city. They try to impeach the governor, who's feckless and retarded anyway. A woman gets shot in the face.
Oh, right?
Yeah. And the woman gets shot in the face, sadly. There's protests, and Bibi recognizes Somaliland. Oh, and the Somali daycare fraud, all in 1 week. And Americans don't take pause.
Blackhawks over Minneapolis.
Mogadishapolis. And nobody takes a second and says, whoa, this is a lot. This is a lot. Let's take a pause and let's try to untangle this. No. They want me to go fight Somalis. I don't live near any Somalis, let alone a Somali daycare. It's just, it's crazy. Like just the lack of like, they think that these things are not connected at all. That none of these things are connected. It's just stupid. Iranians asking for help from the United States. Kill me. Put me on suicide watch. You want me to go? The woman I heard the other night was like, we are begging you, Iranians. We are begging. The Iranians are begging you. We have begged you. And then she mentioned there's no genocide in Palestine. I said, the Palestinians weren't even begging us to do anything. We didn't have to do anything kinetic at all. All we had to do was stop sending Israel bombs. And you want us to go put boots on the ground because your fifis are hurt in Iran? Like, what? What are you talking about? The United States is in a state of internal fracture. Everyone is fighting each other, protesting and spiraling. I'm not interested in being pulled into that chaos or performing loyalty for a system I don't believe in or that is stable or worth defending right now. You guys look like two possums arguing over your trash heaps. It's insane. It's literally insane. So, I'm almost done. Censorship is clearly accelerating again. As you guys know, Scott Ritter was debanked recently, and there have been other things. And we're going to talk about not the debanking, but we're talking about the censorship a little bit more with no explanation. That's a serious warning sign when they start debanking people again, especially people that might have some views that kind of correspond with ours. And Scott would be one of them, him being pro-Russian. We'll explore the United States kind of going after Russia and the EU at the same time. It's really an interesting dynamic. So I thought that was interesting. They went after Scott. People are also being monitored, categorized, and punished for their political views under these new anti-American, anti-capitalist labels. And I'm not going to pretend that isn't happening. And X is the hotspot. It's like a honeypot. It's literally a honeypot for these people. And lastly, there's a disturbing normalization and glorification of war and political violence, particularly among Americans who treat escalation like a game. Pushing Europe toward the edge, joking about civil wars there, and cheering instability from behind screens is reckless. Civil wars are not games, and I refuse to participate in spaces that trivialize real human catastrophe. Americans do not care. They genuinely do not care. And I'm really done being generous with my time with people who do not care and are probably not going to make it in the end anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Why am I wasting my time with these people?
We were on a space together, and somebody literally said, I wanna drop nukes all over the Middle East. And I was like, wait, what? Remember that? Just a few days ago. And I was sitting there like, people are serious about this kind of stuff. It's sick. It's disturbing. We're a sick society. It's too much. It's too toxic. I'm happy you left.
You sit on Twitter all day whilst letting your kids starve. Why are you worried about my kid with a pizza in your profile picture? Your hard drive needs to be checked. My child, it's none of your business. These people are freaks. You're a freak.
Freaks.
Somebody was asking about your kids the other day. You guys, yours, yeah. Americans are. Americans will cover for Epstein and then in the same breath worry about what's going on with our kids.
Yeah. Don't worry about my kids. My kids love me, hug me, kiss me.
Literally.
Yeah. Don't need anything from anybody and by the way, I got so many death threats recently from Iranians. We're known for our hospitality. I'm going to put some up on X because some of them were so brutal and malicious, and everybody's like, we know where you live, things like that. First of all, I don't live in the US anymore. I live in Moscow. Bing, bing, bing. So if you want to come here, come get it, baby. Come get it. You got to get through the hard border here. So if you can make it through the hard border, then you got FSB everywhere. So good luck getting out.
They don't come. They don't come. They've had my address since 2023. They won't do a goddamn thing.
Nobody's coming.
Nobody's coming.
If you want to, I'm ready.
Instead of worried about everybody else's kids, why don't you worry about the kids that were trafficked by your president?
Or the kids that were bombed into oblivion by the same president.
Give me a fucking break. No, I'm not suspended. I deactivated. Anyway, venting over, crash out over, moving on to the next crazy woman of the day, Machado. So, I have never seen a stunt as pathetic as this. Giving away your Nobel Peace Prize. Pathetic enough that she got it in the first place. But here she is giving it to Trump.
El premio Nobel de la Paz. Y yo le dije que hace 200 años el general Lafayette le entregó a Simón Bolívar la medalla con el rostro de George Washington. Bolívar dijo desde entonces mantuvo esa medalla por el resto de su vida. De hecho, cuando usted ve sus retratos, usted puede ver la medalla ahí. Se la entregó el general Lafayette como un acto de hermandad entre los Estados Unidos, entre el pueblo de los Estados Unidos y el pueblo venezolano, por su lucha para la libertad y contra la tiranía. Y hace 200 años, en historia, las personas de Bolívar le están entregando ahora al heredero de Washington, en este caso, la medalla del Premio Nobel de Paz, como un reconocimiento por su compromiso con nuestra libertad.
Can I break this down for a second? First of all, oh my God, look at that. By the way, I was wondering if the medal was a replica or a fake, because he's not going to open it up and check. So I was thinking to myself, did she give him the real? Because all these people are fakes and frauds to begin with. So did she give him the real one, or did she get a replica one? You can buy replicas, of course. You can.
Can you?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Here's
totally.
what he had to say. I don't even think this makes a difference. Here's the after.
Why align with Delcy Rodriguez and the remnants of the Maduro regime and not with Machado, who has the support of the Venezuelan people?
Well, if you ever remember a place called Iraq where everybody was fired, every single person, the police, the generals, everybody was fired, and they ended up being ISIS. Instead of just getting down to business, they ended up being ISIS. So I remember that. But I'll tell you, I had a great meeting yesterday by a person who I have a lot of respect for, and she has respect, obviously, for me and our country. And she gave me her Nobel Prize. But I'll tell you what, I got to know her. I never met her before, and I was very, very impressed. She's this is a fine woman.
Where are you?
This is a fine woman.
They were ISIS.
What does that mean coming from him?
The government we put in Iraq, they wound up being ISIS. Whoops.
And now they're running Syria. Oh, well, forget about that part. But
We'll get to that too. But yeah.
we'll get to that too. But what's interesting for me is Machado saying, oh, Lafayette gave Bolivar a Medal of Washington. Yeah, notice he didn't give a Medal of Monroe. He gave a Medal of Washington, who fought a revolution and inspired other people to fight revolutions against empires, against the British Empire, and then Bolivar fought against the Spanish Empire, and others fought against the Portuguese Empire, and others fought against the French monarchy.
Trump fought against the Maduran Empire.
Oh, yeah.
The freedom fighter against the Maduran Revolution.
So you see what I'm saying? Like people in Latin America look up to George Washington. Forget about the history, about the slavery and things. They all know that too. I'm just saying that in terms of as a figure, they look to him as a revolutionary hero. Of course, also a broken one like so many others. But they do not look to the United States in its 250 years of history as positive necessarily. Of course, Operation Condor, all of the regime change, the massacres, the genocide of indigenous people, including Guatemala, the indigenous Mayan people. I mean, they all know that stuff. I mean, open veins. You just have to, crack open a book. But what I'm saying is that she's trying to now play it off like, oh, this is the same America of Lafayette's time when he gave the medal to Bolivar. Wrong. Wrong. Couldn't be any worse.
Do you know the only other person that was gifted their Nobel Peace Prize besides Trump?
I do not know.
It's Goebbels.
Oh, would you look at that?
I mean, time is a flat circle. Also, Nobel Prize Committee released a statement. The prize can therefore not even symbolically be passed on or further distributed. Why did you give it to her?
What did you think was going to happen?
And like the whole thing is just so ridiculous. It's such a charade. But I did hear today that they said, I really hate this narrative that's like Delcy's talking to the CIA. She's working with the Americans. Yeah, she probably doesn't want to die or get kidnapped and brought to a prison in New York City. What are her options here?
There are no options.
I'm not convinced that Delcy sold out Maduro. I'm not convinced of anything like that yet.
I don't think so.
This doesn't prove it. She has no choice. What are her choices here feasibly? If you give me, what are the choices?
Cooperate or die.
Yeah, he already threatened. He said it'll be worse if you don't go along with what we're saying.
And by the way, victims of violence and abuse and things like that, that some people just end up cooperating just so it's not as painful, not as brutal, not as, as bad. That's just a reality. I mean, everybody's got to know this from basic psychology. So if your enemy is over there that's more bigger and powerful, then you kind of ease them in and basically do what they want so that it's not as bad. Because it's only that she's going to be punished. Venezuelans are going to die, right? She doesn't want her own people to die. She doesn't want her country to be immiserated, destroyed, torn apart. She doesn't want it to look like Iraq or Afghanistan or Syria, right? So she's doing, I think, what she can. And of course, it's not perfect for us revolutionaries that want to see her more, but she's also pragmatic. She has to be pragmatic at this point.
It's not even that. It's also could just be a strategy of like, these morons aren't going to be able to do anything that they say they're going to do anyway. Just let them have their 30 billion or whatever the hell it is go away. Like they're never going to get it. Nothing is going to happen.
And not only that, think of it as a strategy of just a couple of years. She's like, okay, we can cooperate for a couple of years. Once he's out of office, they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to do other things. And who knows? If listen to this, if a Democrat comes into office, they're less likely to go to war with a country, especially in Latin America, given their base. And second of all, they're going to be bogged down back again in Europe because their big enemy is Russia, China, right?
Exactly.
But more so Russia. Russia's the big enemy for them.
Their big enemy might be the EU at the end of the day.
For Trump, it's for sure.
It's insane.
No, it's crazy. So I just want people to understand that she's also I agree with you. She's biding time. She's like, all right.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah. And you know, she's listening to what the oil companies are saying. They're not interested. And we talked about it last show. The oil companies basically saying, you know, you're going to have to do a full regime change or put boots on the ground. And I don't think that that's even feasible right now with the situation that we're in, with all the other alligators that are much closer to the boat than Venezuela. So I think she's playing it correctly. I'm not convinced that Maduro, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Maduro. There's like no updates. I don't like it.
Is he okay? Do you have any news from prison?
I didn't get any news from prison other than a leaked statement that we were trying to verify a while back, which was positive. He sounded in very good spirits. His son has spoken and said he's in good spirits, but who the hell knows? I did speak to Venezuelans and we're trying to help them put a legal team together, and I connected them with Dan Kowalik. So if you guys don't know, he's the lawyer. He's our good friend of the show and lawyer for Gustavo Petro. So hopefully that he can point them in the right direction. But they are assembling some sort of team and some sort of movement or to work on his case. But is there even a case? Like, what is he being charged with? Guns? So whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much the update for Venezuela. No news. No significant news. This is the topic I wanted to really get your thoughts on. What's going on in Syria? So this will probably trigger some people's PTSD. Of course, is Raqqa. And here we see a prison break.
الله أكبر! تحرير السجون! الله أكبر! الله أكبر! الله أكبر!
Kurdish statue.
أين العداة؟ وضعناهم بأرجلنا وأين سادتهم؟ فرعون ما دفنوا حرقتهم جيفا والقوة حربهم ولم تراب يواريهم يا فاتح الشام نصر الله مهلكته عودت بقوم أبيدوا بعدما لعنوا أين العداة؟
Saw quite a few spaces today celebrating this, saying Rojava will never be. I'm not a Kurd fan. I'm not a Kurd anti-fan. But this is if anybody can't see the writing on the wall about what's going on and what they're trying to do to the Kurds and with the Kurds, I don't know what to say. So I want to pass it over to you, Chris, because you have extensive history and experience in this area.
You mean I fought in that city?
Yeah, in Raqqa
against Daesh.
So yeah.
I mean, for me, I knew that this was coming back then. That's why I was part. You know, people are like, "You fought for." First of all, there were two factions: a major faction, a minor faction. The major faction was pro-US. The minor faction was pro-Russian. I was part of pro-Russian faction. And in the end, a month after I left, the Kurdish leadership decided to not go with the Russians and to choose to go with the Americans. So that's part of the big reason why I left. It's also the reason why some of the alliances amongst the left-wing parties there ended up splitting, and then a lot of them were massacred in Afrin because that was under Russian control. Then Russians withdrew their peacekeepers, and then Turkey came in and finished the job. So for me, this is what we always knew was going to happen. And actually, I was sitting here and I'm like, next year will be 10 years since I was there. And just thinking about what we knew a decade ago, we knew this was going to happen. And so part of my argument with the leadership was, especially amongst the military command, was the most important thing is to integrate the YPG into Syrian Arab Army, even in an autonomous way, and to have the borders secured by Syrian Arab Army and Russian peacekeepers. Because Turkey wouldn't violate where there are Russians unless the Russians pull back. And the only safeguard was for the Russians to support the Syrians fully. But what did the Kurds do? They kept the oil fields, depriving the Syrian state of their own oil. They kept the rich areas in terms of agriculture, depriving the Syrian state of wheat. And therefore, you have those two key things, not to mention a porous border that was constantly had problems. So there you ended up having the situation deepen and the economic crisis eventually lead to part of the problems that eventually emerged. I honestly think that if there would have been an alliance in 2017 after Raqqa, and basically the Kurdish leadership said, okay, we'll do joint operations in Deir ez-Zor, and then we're going to push Turkey out, they could have cleaned Idlib altogether. I think with full Russian backing, they could have done it. But at the very least, they could have held the line. But they didn't end up doing that. And so you had this fragmented Syria, and now you have the result. The Kurds believed strongly, the Kurdish leadership believed strongly that if they sort of balanced Russia and the United States off of one another, they could come out on top. And in the end, both of them, well, one of them said, okay, you don't want us. Good luck with the other one. Because Russians are the only ones to ever give the Kurds a state. Republic of Mahabad, look it up, late 40s. It was a gift of Stalin to the Kurdish people, and then they withdrew support, and then it fell apart. And that was because of broader situation in Iran. But you have the Russians. So the Russians said, okay, good luck. The Americans, of course, Americans don't give a shit about Kurds. When did they ever care about Kurds? Did they care about Kurds when they gave Saddam Hussein chemical weapons to gas them in Halabja and killed over 100,000? I said this at the time, and people were like, you're being sectarian. How am I being sectarian? I'm telling you the truth. Americans never cared about Kurdish people. If they cared about Kurdish people, they wouldn't have given chemical weapons to Saddam to use against Iranians, Kurds, village people along the entire border, Kurds, Lurs, Arabs in Khuzestan. They killed hundreds of thousands of people with these weapons. Oh, no problem. Americans, it was bad policy. Now they've changed. Really? They've changed. How have they changed? And so a lot of this fake nationalism, romanticism, all this baloney about the Rojava revolution, no revolution. There was no revolution. By the way, the key element from today's agreement, because now there's a ceasefire in effect from what we know, the key element was all PKK leadership who are not native Syrians have to go. That's the entire leadership of the SDF. The entire leadership of the SDF are Kurds from Turkey who are PKK cadre who came there. Sorry to blow everybody, I blow the cover, but who cares at this point? I'm long gone, and all of these deep secrets are going to come out anyway at some point. The entire leadership in the Rojava revolution, quote unquote, were all top cadre of the PKK in Turkey. And Syrian Kurds who fought in the PKK in the 80s and 90s and 2000s came back again, and they both jointly ruled. That's why Arab villagers, one Arab villager told me one time, yeah, under Assad, it was all Alawites, and now it's all Kurds from Turkey. So like nothing changed for him, because he's like, we don't have anybody ruling us. It's one of us. It's somebody from outside who's ruling us. So it was a very interesting commentary. But I think that today shows what we've known all along. The Kurds would be betrayed. It's the end of this Rojava revolution, Rojava dream. People are still BSing online. Oh, defend the women. Is over. The map today, Deir ez-Zor is taken, Raqqa is taken. They're going to push all the way up to Hasaka. By the way, my unit I was with, a Turkish communist movement, was kicked out of Serekaniye, Ras Al Ain, moved to Hasaka, and now where are they going to go? By the way, a lot of there are still internationals who are there. BG, YPG, BG, BG YPG, BG YPG, BG Öcalan. Where are they going to go? They're going to all be expelled from Syria or worse. I hope they know that now is the time to go. There's no sticking around. There are people from the US, people from the UK, people from France, people from Italy. Good luck dealing with Jolani's people. If you're a woman, you're going to end up in sex slavery. If you're a guy, you're going to end 6 feet under or, in ashes. So they got to go. I'm warning anybody who's listening to this stream. If you're in Syria right now, in Rojava territory, and you are an international, you got to get out of there. It's over. Game over. Nobody's coming to save you.
The general commander of the YPG, Sipan Hamo, said, "We do not seek separation and our future lies within Syria. We have not received support from Iran or Russia, and we call on the U.S. to provide guarantees to protect the Kurds amid the ongoing changes. Israel is a powerful state in the region, and we hope that the stance it has taken to protect the Druze will also be extended to include the Kurds."
So they went from the Russians to the Americans, now to the Israelis. You see, this is why the situation is what it is. No leadership, no foresight, no nothing. Nothing.
It's like, we promise, we won't take any advice or any assistance from Iran or Russia if the Israelis will just take us with truce. Like, it's so crazy.
Meanwhile, the Zionists are even worse because the PKK fought against Israel in the 1980s. They were allied with the Palestinians. Don't forget, the PKK was a Marxist-Leninist formation that was supported by the Soviet Union. So it was armed and funded by the entire socialist bloc. Öcalan was a guest of Hafiz al-Assad, Bashar al-Assad's father. And they fought alongside the PFLP, George Habash's PFLP, against the Israelis. You think that the Israelis forget who fought against them? You think all of a sudden, oh, the Kurds, so sweet, so nice. They don't care. By the way, these Kurds are the worst ones for them. So they're going to support Barzani and his crew in northern Iraq to liquidate these Kurds as well. Oh, get ready for the inter-Kurd fighting, which already happened in history. It's coming again.
I wanted to ask you about that because they're also pushing Kurds they were trying to push Kurds over the border into Iran. We have 3, you're a Kurd, somewhat. We were with the Kurds in Iraq, and then there's other Kurds in Syria. Can you try to give us a breakdown of this sort of trifecta and what's...
So there are Kurds in 5 countries historically. There are Kurds in Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Armenia, right? Or the area now, Armenia, Azerbaijan, that whole area on the Caucasus, right? So there's a huge population. So the biggest Kurdish city is in Iran. The largest Kurdish population is in Turkey. And the minority is in the Caucasus and in Syria. In Syria, only in that very northern part, and most of them are recent transplants from the past 2 centuries. They're not really indigenous to that area necessarily. They are very much indigenous to the mountain ranges going from northwest Iran through northern Iraq into Turkey. So these divisions also have historical consequences because basically the majority of the Kurds were under the Ottoman Empire, a minority of the Kurds were under the Safavid and later Qajar dynasty. And so Iranian Kurds are a little bit different. They all speak different dialects, Sorani, Kurmanji, Zazaki, and like Darsim and places like that. They have different religious alliances and affiliations. For example, most Kurds are Sunni, but I come from a Shia Kurdish and Lor family, and that's mostly in Iran. There are Sufis. There are Alevi, of course, in Darsim, Sayyid Riza, for those who know the history of the uprisings in the 30s against Ataturk for what he promised the Kurds. So there are a lot of, it's not a united nation. Remember, nationalism is also a fake mythology in many cases. It's just a bunch of people who speak similar languages, similar culture. Okay, let's, combine them all together. Kurds didn't even have the same language necessarily. So it's even more artificial in many ways. The Kurdish, okay, yes, they have mutually intelligible languages to a greater or lesser extent, but they also have some similar and different traditions depending on where they are in greater Kurdistan, if you want to put it that way. So that's to suffice to say that they are much more tribal, and therefore tribal affiliation goes above any national aspirations. So that's something that really you have to consider and think about. But in the case of my experience in the movement, you had socialist and communist Kurds, you had nationalist Kurds, you also have Sunni extremist Kurds, like the Kurdish Hezbollah in Turkey, which is a Sunni extremist Salafi Wahhabi kind of group. You have Kurds who are Alevi, who are much more aligned with the axis of resistance, because of course they're Shia, basically. You have Kurds in Iran, some of whom are against the government and have certain political affiliations, some of whom are more pro the government, depending on their religious background. So it's highly, highly fragmented and complex. Listen, if the Americans actually cared about Kurdish people, they would have recognized the vote, the referendum in 2017 in September, that was like 97% in favor of a Kurdish state in northern Iraq. And what did the Americans do? We don't recognize it. Of course. They already had a referendum. There was a referendum. I was there for the referendum.
They'll use it when they need it, though, to destabilize Iraq.
They never need it, because what they're going to do is they're going to always use it as a carrot and stick. Because if they gave the referendum and they gave it, now they have to deal with an independent state. But instead of giving them independence, they'll give them autonomy, and they'll kind of wedge it, and they'll kind of use it as they need it. And within that, there are two factions, Barzani and Talabani. Talabani is more left-wing, more pro-PKK, more pro-Iran. Barzani is very pro-American, very pro-Israel, even though Barzani's ancestors were communists who started the first Kurdish state that was supported by Stalin. You see? I could take you down a rabbit hole, and in the end, you'll be like, fuck it up.
I already am, so no need. But our PMF has reinforced the border. That border is very porous, as you guys know. So they've reinforced the border given the ongoing tensions in Syria. Some of the Lebanese think that they're trying to destabilize northern Lebanon as well. So that's something to pay attention to as that situation continues to unfold. It's kind of one of those things that they not sweep under the carpet, but they just don't give any airtime to. But it's still going on. Alawites are still being massacred. Minorities are still being massacred. It's all still going on. But don't be fooled. Lindsay's over there on a tour. I guess, yeah, there he is. Look at this. Like, this is insane. This is just
met with my good friend David Barnea, director of Mossad. Wow, these people are clever.
Yeah.
Sick shit.
But he's doing it on purpose. He's trolling Americans, trolling MAGA, which is just incredible. Interestingly, while he's in Israel doing what he does, the patriarchs and church leaders come out with this statement. And you wanted to talk about it, so I'd toss it over to you. But yeah, this is a really strong condemnation and rejection of Christian Zionism, specifically Christian Zionism, not Zionism. They've already condemned that. Christian Zionism. So they did
what it says here. Recent activities undertaken by local individuals who advance damaging ideologies, such as Christian Zionism, mislead the public, sow confusion, and harm the unity of our flock. By the way, if we're talking about the patriarchs and heads of the churches in Jerusalem, we're talking about, number one, the Greek Orthodox Patriarch of all Palestine, Theophilus. We're talking about the Latin Patriarch, which is Cardinal Pizzabella. We're talking about the Armenian Patriarch. We're talking about the Copts, the Ethiopians, the Syriac, all of the traditional Orthodox, Oriental Orthodox, Catholic, and Uniate churches. So no Protestants involved in this, except for maybe the Anglicans. I don't know. I'd have to look if there's an Anglican in the mix on this. But it's mostly the traditional Christian churches, Catholic, Orthodox, Oriental Orthodox. But you see, this is a complete and utter destruction of the entire Protestant narrative around Israel.
They actually call them out in the second paragraph. They say this goes right after the evangelicals. Guys, remember the evangelical pastors were just in Israel. Mike Huckabee is literally an evangelical pastor. He's the ambassador. And now Lindsey Graham is there. He's also an evangelical. So all of this is happening. And with that happening in the backdrop, this letter comes out. To claim authority outside the communion of the church is to wound the unity of the faithful and burden the pastoral mission entrusted to the historic churches in the very land where our Lord lived, taught, suffered, and rose from the dead. The patriarchs and heads of churches in Jerusalem reiterate that they alone represent the churches and their flock. in matters pertaining to Christian religion.
Yep. That's it. That's a fact.
These people are sick of our shit.
Absolutely. And by the way, they are oppressed. They are oppressed and they are facing annihilation in Israel. Regardless of whatever Protestants want to say in evangelical nutcases in the US, Christians are threatened because if the right-wing Jews have their way, there will be nobody but Jews in that land.
I mean, I don't know how many times we need to talk about it, so I won't do it again, but the destruction of the Orthodox is almost complete.
Oh, yeah.
And the Catholics are right behind them.
Oh, yeah.
So there's people are begging for help.
Oh, yeah, of course. This is one of the oldest Christian communities in the world.
But the Iranians in Tehran need help.
Yeah, they need help. You know who needs help? The Christians in Palestine need help.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. We got to bomb the farmland in Nigeria and pretend there's Christians there. Just ignore the ones that are actually losing their land, their bank accounts, their money, their lives.
No. What Christians? We don't know of any Christians over. It's a Jewish state.
Cut a fucking corridor right through the oldest Christian nation on earth. I mean, I don't. Whatever.
I know.
Whatever. Okay. So that's the end of the West Asia. No, actually, I'm lying. The Nightmare Blunt rotation that's going to lead Gaza was announced. Trump's Board of Peace. What the hell is going on? So Trump's Board of Peace, he announced the other day. I put up a post. Let me see if I can grab it.
$1 billion?
We have Marco Rubio, Tony Blair,
Yep.
Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and World Bank President AJ Banga, among others. Trump is asking for. I'm so confused about this. Why would people want to sit on the Board of Peace so much so that they'd be willing to pay $1 billion?
Let me tell you. Think about it from the perspective of the GCC. You get in Trump's favor. You give $1 billion, and then he says, "Let's make other deals." So then you make deals on energy, defense, whatever the hell you want. And so Trump cuts you in, you cut him in, and it's a win-win operation. You see how it is up there?
Scary. This is scary that people think like this.
Yeah, well, think about Miriam Adelson. She gave him $250 million, and look at how much she's given back, and he's given back to her. So now everyone's like, okay, make an investment in Trump, and Trump will return to you, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point. They see her ROI, and it's enormous. It's astronomical.
This is why Machado should have actually turned down the Nobel Prize and said, "I will not accept it." And then Trump would have probably given her the keys to the presidential palace in Miraflores. But instead she took it. You don't take from me.
Big mistake, Lucy.
That's right.
So much is so not only is he selling the seats, he's begging people to sit on the board. Milei. Letter to Milei. I formally invite the Argentine Republic to join as a founding member state and become a party to the Charter of the Board of Peace. Why does it need a charter?
Why does it need a country in Latin America?
He asked Orban to join as well. Look at him. He crossed out Mr. President and wrote Victor. He's such a schmoozer. Milei probably saw that and cried.
Meanwhile, I think Argentinians need a board of peace to protect Patagonia.
Dude. Also, yeah, guys, we've broken that story. We did the Substack. We did all of the things. I'll try to deep dive into Chile. And apparently an Israeli tourist was just arrested there for setting a fire. So
interesting.
It never ends. It really never ends. And then people tell you that you're crazy or that you're obsessed with Jews. It's like,
I mean, I'm not obsessed if they
but stay out of the news.
Exactly.
Stay out of the news.
What am I supposed to do?
So Trump announces this Board of Peace. We're still not even clear about what the hell it's supposed to do other than be technocratic. He sent invitations to Erdogan, Sisi, King of Jordan, Pakistan. He loves Sharif, Paraguay, and Malay, and maybe India and Canada, which is interesting. Canada has said, we're entering the New World Order with China. See ya.
By the way, that has been a great big story that not many people are covering. China now is going to position itself closer to Canada. And, I'm thinking that because Trump has said he wants Canada as a 51st state, could you imagine Chinese troops in Canada?
A base. China's like, you can have Greenland. Hold my beer. I'm taking Canada. You didn't want to be neighbors? I'm on top of your ass.
Special
You
military
gotta get
operations.
through me to get to your little Greenland up there.
Listen. If they take Canada, special military operation to liberate Alaska and take it back to the Russians.
Smell Alaska.
Wow.
Smell Alaska. Speaking of Jews and special military operations, let's hop on and back to the United States. Friction in the United States, ICE protests and the National Guard in Minnesota. Like, you guys understand that they're like playing into this, right? They're playing into the Nazi aesthetic. It's not like it's accidental. Like they're doing it to get your reaction and to create engagement.
Of course.
Let's see. In Minnesota, the troublemakers, agitators, insurrectionists are, in many cases, highly paid professionals. We know, Trump. Literally, they're paid by Bibi. The governor and mayor don't know what to do. They have totally lost control and are currently being rendered useless. Okay. Like, all right. Here's Dan Bambino. Like, see, like they're playing into it. This is playing into it. He's like 5'6".
First of all, his head is so small compared to his body.
Tiny. He's literally 5'5" or 5'6". But the stuff with ICE is literally getting out of control. I can't say that word. Ordnungspolizei.
Oh, yeah.
He's like screaming at me to say the word. You come on and say it. I don't know how to speak European.
Polizei. Yeah.
But anyway, speaking of Jews, here's what's going on.
Go back, AIPAC. Go back. That's the AIPAC building right there. White Christian men are not going to sit around while you turn our children into a bunch of nigger lovers.
First of all, white Christian, I hate the N-word. I hate the hard R. Call me gay or like a coward, but I hate that word. And why would a Christian representation of first of all, Jake Lang is a Fed. Secondly, he's Jewish. His sister's in the IDF. You guys know that like half of these influencers and these streamers, all these journalists are just January 6ers, right?
Yep.
That owe their freedom to the government, to the regime.
What freedom?
So that's literally what Jake Lang. So that's Jake when he did his little AIPAC shenanigans. He's still pretending to be Christian. See, it's safe now. You guys also have to see, you guys got to stay ahead of the curve. It's safe now to be anti-AIPAC.
Yeah.
They're moving the money to other avenues or just coming directly from one person. So it's okay to be anti-AIPAC. So he has the permission from Bibi and whomever his handlers are to be against AIPAC. So this is more recently in Minnesota, I believe.
Minneapolis City Hall will be burning Qurans, standing up against the Somali invasion. Ah, Jake, you got us a good idea. Hey, stop. Wait, let them go. Drive the car.
Why didn't he get shot in the face? Am I allowed to say that? Shit.
You can say that. Why didn't he? Why? I mean, it's a
I
question.
don't want him to get shot in the face. I'm just saying, like, his right to protest.
I know.
So the serendipitous parts are that a black man rescued him from the chaos, and he gets into a vehicle, which the passenger is a trans woman who is the daughter or the child of immigrant parents. So she's a dreamer. Like, it just doesn't stop being funny. So it's like it doesn't get better than this. So and like I don't understand the double standard with the MAGA thing, where it's like these liberals that are outside of the ICE centers protesting with posters deserve to get shot and assaulted, but Jake Lang needs to be handled with kid gloves because he's like some national treasure or something. I don't really understand like the thought processes here. I want everybody to have a right to protest, by the way.
For sure. Why not? It's part of the American.
Even Jake Lang. I want him to show everybody he's retarded.
Which he
so,
did.
Yeah.
Did he get hit on the head with a brick or something?
Yeah, he was bleeding. I don't know if it was serious enough to go to the hospital, but yeah, he was bleeding from his head. Yeah.
That did not look nice.
I'm sorry, but like, it's too fake. It's too over the top. I can't feel sympathy. Like if it were a person that legitimately harbored these feelings, which they shouldn't, I would think they're an idiot anyway, but that legitimately harbored these feelings, I would be like, yo, it sucks that you're getting your ass beat for your political beliefs, but these aren't even his beliefs. Also, notice that everybody always wants to burn the Quran. I have yet to see one person burn the Torah or the Tanakh. The Talmud, Lucas Gage did. He got suspended.
That's right. That's right. I think he was the only one actually to do it.
He was. Isn't that interesting?
It's interesting.
He's not on the streamer bus, is he?
He's not on the streamer bus.
Not on the streamer bus.
Nope.
Yes, exactly. It's a right-wing fed up clown war. It's slop.
It is.
It's fake slop. You can even see when these ICE agents, for lack of a better word, are interacting with the public, they're creating content. You could tell by the way they're acting, they are making content. Let's take a look. I think we do have a clip of some of the interactions.
Out of the road now. Hey, jump that photo. You're all fucking pretend. Coward chicken shit fucks. You are not a soldier.
Ready? Walk. Like it's like very cute.
It was all choreographed. Yeah. Everything choreographed for the press.
You see why I refuse to participate in this shit?
Yeah, because it's all fake. We know. It's all.
It's also, a LARP. It's a LARP.
It is. It is. It is LARP. And by the way, that coat.
I know. You know, they picked the guy. They picked this guy that looks like this on purpose, guys. You understand that, right? There's a whole aesthetic they're doing.
Oh yeah, of course.
I don't know if they're trying to provoke Nazi or provoke Antifa or liberals or what, but I don't know.
Strategy of tension. We've been talking about
it. So cringe. Like if you're falling for this, it's like this is making you mad. Come on, people. Really, a coat and a 5'6" retard yelling, get out of the road. Even the protesters, there's only like 25 protesters there. They needed 30 ICE agents.
He's doing it like so methodically for like the cameras, like get out the road.
Yeah, looking right at the camera. It's like it's so insane. It's like I can't decide if they're in on the LARP, if they're like, guys, just really lean into this aesthetic, or if they're like, I really want to be a Nazi, and they're like theater kids. I don't know. I can't decide. Either way, it's a LARP. It's not. These people are. This isn't real. Christy Nome, it's a LARP. The whole thing is just, it's insane.
It is.
So nationwide protests are still going on, clashes at federal buildings. This is all pretty much localized to Minneapolis. I think like some other protests happened, but have cooled down because ICE really isn't anywhere else besides Minneapolis. This kind of assault against Tim Walz. I'm not really like cued into Tim Walz or his background, but I did hear from some people. Now I'm just repeating this. Is that Tim Walz? There's something suspicious about him. Not in the fraud sense or in the sense that he should be impeached, but they're like, have you ever wondered why Tim Walz was picked out of nowhere to run as Kamala's? Right. Apparently he's a fundraising machine.
He is, and he's also like a darling of some of the progressives.
So yeah, I think they're going after him. It's just more political, sort of lawfare, warfare. But speaking of the elections, Trump mentioned we're not going to have any. So that's happening. Oh, here's some more shots of Jake. Trump mentioned we're not going to have any, when you think of it, we shouldn't even have an election. And then, of course, Caroline Levitt rushes in to do damage control. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. What do we tell you guys? Everything's a joke until it isn't. I've been telling you for a while. I don't think I have a weird feeling they're not going to have elections. Nobody's campaigning. Who's campaigning?
Only they're running against Massey. They're like, Massey's a fake Republican. Vote for the other guy. Right. And I don't see anything like really in swing now.
Well, I mean, what's the point of having elections when all it is this?
Miri, you and Sheldon created a lot of relationship over the years with politicians at the state level, especially at the federal level. I want you to share with everyone why is it so important and how do you do it? Again, writing checks is part of it, but there is more than writing just checks. So how do you do it?
Can you allow me not to answer?
You choose.
I want to be truthful, and there are so many things that I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want specific, but that's okay. But everyone should know here how important it is to get involved, because the reason that both of you were able to make huge differences is because you got involved. And you spent a lot of time and yes, a lot of money on it, but you got involved and you cared. And that's what everyone here need to know. That, complaining and doing nothing is not going to get us anywhere. And you guys have done completely the opposite. So thank you both.
Well, they sure do complain a lot for it not to be getting them anywhere. Anyway.
If I'm going to be completely honest with you, it is X and Jeffrey Epstein.
Right. And she's on the left. She's Trump's largest donor. And that's whatever his name, Haim, on the right. He is Obama's biggest donor. What's the point of elections?
It's all one big club and you ain't in it.
We're all just changing money and shaking hands and just passing money to each other and back to themselves.
The Clintons and the Trumps both hung out with Epstein.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's all a big club.
The darling of the Democrats and the darling of the Republicans both hung out and went and did all of the crazy things that were going on. I just want to say come on.
Right. So while all this is happening, Minneapolis, we have ICE acting crazy. These people are talking about no elections. Now we have this psycho.
So number one, we measure and track. Number two, we monitor and disrupt. We have a whole apparatus. I have 40 analysts working full time, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, monitoring extremists. We monitor them online, social media, messaging apps, video games, cryptocurrency, podcasts, short form video, Wikipedia, LLMs. We monitor these people and we share the intelligence with the FBI.
Wikipedia too?
A lot of monitoring going on.
A lot of monitoring.
So what's really happening in Minnesota?
This job and these people who want to say follow ICE, and film ICE, you know what? You can protest. They have that right. But when you cross that line, and we've proven it, if you interfere or impede or assault an ICE officer, you will be prosecuted. And one thing I'm pushing for right now, Laura, we're going to create a database where those people that are arrested for interference, impediment, assault, we're going to make them famous. We're going to put their face on TV. We're going to let their employers in their neighborhoods, in their schools, know who these people are. Because as you said, a lot of these people, they say they're taking time off work to protest. I bet you a lot of them are calling in sick. I bet you a lot of their employers don't know what they're doing. But we're going to make sure everybody knows who they are. We're going to broadcast. They want to broadcast the ICE officer that was nearly killed all over the internet. we're going to broadcast every one of these people we arrest.
First of all, I don't even know what that accent is or if he had a stroke. But as we know, now that facial thing that they were using with the ICE agent, that's attached to Palantir.
Yes,
The database that he was just talking about is attached to Palantir. The database that the ADL is talking about is attached to Palantir.
Yep.
The FBI is attached to Palantir. Palantir is centralizing all of these things. So if you're being monitored on Wikipedia and X, ICE also knows you're being monitored on Wikipedia and X for whatever sentiment you have. These things are now centralized. That was the point of the surveillance state.
Where are all these right wingers who are like, oh, social credit score, oh, CCP, CPC, you know, where are they?
Yeah. Yeah.
They seem to not care about this Palantir government that's coming, this technocracy that's coming to rule, and the fact that people are going to be exposed and doxxed. They didn't like it when it happened on January 6th. Nobody's talking about it now because it was all a charade. It was all a farce. It's all good when they're doing it, but when the opposing side is doing it, they don't like it, and vice versa. And this is the game that keeps everybody locked in this fake feud. It's not real.
Exactly. Exactly. And now Palantir is going to be fully integrated with the military and Grok. Every single El Salvadoran child that is in school has an assigned Grok tutor that they speak to the entire day. And now you have the Board of Peace technocratic government being bought, seats are being bought in Palestine. Do you guys see the evolution happening? We want to call it Pax Judaica. Everybody said, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. All right, lop off the Judaica. It's just a huge global surveillance state.
Yep.
And it's peace through strength, peace through coercion, peace through fear. Remember what Larry Ellison said? He said, how do we get the people to obey? Well, we'll just watch them.
War is peace. Don't you remember?
War is peace.
War is peace. We're here.
We are here. All right. Speaking of war, our last segment, Greenland. This is like
the Winter War, round 2.
Well, here's what's going on in Greenland. Everybody's going to make fun of it and say the small protest. It's like half the town. They do not want the United States there. So all these little videos that Nick Shirley's filming in like Nova Scotia or wherever, enough is enough. And then, of course, protests are breaking out in Europe against it. Here's Denmark. It's like the most polite protest I've ever seen. I didn't realize the Danish were so polite. Also, yeah, that statue, I thought that it was like some weird EU art. And then I got up close and I was like, oh, it's Trump. Like this disfigured elephantine Trump. Oh my God. What a funny. Oh yeah, that was a great video. So yeah, they're protesting politely. I guess they're going to write angry letters. But the interesting thing that we talked about it with Glenn Deason on our show is that what does this mean for Europe? You know, we've seen interesting videos. Here's some more photos of protests. Fuck Trump, fuck Vance, fuck USA, fuck Ruta. Finally, somebody's saying it.
Oh.
There's some statements. Ursula, Talmudic values von der Leyen. Macron. Kaja Kallas, who... I replied to this and I got like 2,000 likes. And I said, So you demilitarized yourselves because of the imagined boogeyman and your ridiculous Russophobia, and now you're blaming China and Russia that Trump's going to take Greenland. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. So they're all just writing angry letters to Trump, and then they released a joint statement that they don't like it or whatever. They stand in solidarity with the Kingdom of Denmark. What did you think was going to happen? The same thing that's happening to the Kurds. You're just another proxy.
That's it. What was it? Was it Kissinger's quote that to be America's enemy is one thing, but to be their friends is deadly?
Yeah.
You know?
So we had the 3 M's come forth: Macron, Meloni, Merz, and they all want to reopen dialogue with Russia. What choice do they have?
Yeah.
You're completely demilitarized. Here's Trump on the White House lawn.
Mr. President, do you commit to not militarily engaging NATO partners?
I don't talk about that.
Mr. President, you're not willing to commit to not attacking a NATO partner?
This motherfucker made them raise their payments to NATO to what, like 5% of their GDP or something insane? And now he's like, and then I'm going to attack you.
Now you're going back. No.
Article 5 or Article 4 yourself?
I don't comment about that.
Yeah, that's not something that I'm going to talk about. He did the Mary Madelson. I want to be truthful, but there's many things that's what to talk about. Let's see what the other twinks are saying. Here's the other one.
President Trump strongly believes that we cannot outsource our security because, Kristen, let me tell you what will happen, and it might not be next year, might not be in 5 years, but down the road, this fight for the Arctic is real. We would keep our NATO our NATO guarantees, and if there were an attack on Greenland from Russia, from some other area, we would get dragged in. So better now, peace through strength, make it part of the United States, and there will not be a conflict because the United States right now, we are the hottest country in the world. We are the strongest country in the world. The Europeans project weakness. The U.S. projects strength.
Why are we ruled by a group of retarded homocons? Lindsey Graham, Palantir, Scott Bessent. Why is Scott Bessent even commenting on this stuff? You are the Treasury Secretary, sir. Jared Kushner. Like, what are these maniacal twinks running around with grudges, chips on their shoulders, are running Washington? It's insane.
This is what we have. This is the US for you. Everyone's like, oh, they're looking at all these other countries with like professional diplomatic corps, professional politicians, and we just have a bunch of good old boys from private high schools and colleges and Ivy Leagues who didn't get their way, and now they want to force their way in positions of power. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Here he is again.
President Trump strongly believes that we cannot
You bring up Crimea. The president, as far as I have heard, has not taken military force off the table. If the United States were to take Greenland by force, how would that be different than Russia's annexation of Crimea?
Look, I believe that the Europeans will understand that this is best for Greenland, best for Europe, and best for the United States.
So, but military action is still on the table?
I haven't spoken with the president on that. And again, I believe that the Europeans will understand that the best outcome is for the U.S. to maintain or receive control of Greenland.
Well, so far what we've heard and seen from the Europeans is alarm and outrage.
The Europeans realize they are fucked.
They are.
You're fucked. Should have listened. Should have told them not to blow up Nord Stream. Now you're going to have to. G is probably just having dim sum and just laughing.
And some people are joking on and trolling and saying, see, Europe should have instead partnered with Moscow against the US.
Exactly. What did you think was going to happen? Why do you think the Americans watched while you were destroyed in the world wars? They stood idly by until you were destroyed, and then they came in and they ruled over the ashes. What do you think they're doing now? Not only that, they're even more sinister because they're further removed from Europe. Trump has no qualms about being European descent, and they're really being ran by Netanyahu. So you're double fucked. And the Israelis, the Zionists, the Jews, they do not like Europe because Europe is where anti-Semitism was born. You guys are fucked.
They are.
And every time you say that this is Europe, the land of Talmudic values, it's not going to save you. You're still going to be paying reparations to the fucking surveillance state of Israel.
Yep.
I can't believe the Europeans did this. And you're not, well, you're Greek. That doesn't count. They're Mediterranean. But where are the European descendants? The diaspora?
It doesn't exist like that. It's over. It's over. Game over.
Germany and Italy aren't our allies. We occupy them. There are 59 bases, 59 military installations in Italy alone. Berlin is an occupied city. So
I know.
I don't understand this. And I love Europe. I love Europeans. I'm not one of those people who poo-poos on Europe and says, oh, Europe ruined themselves or Europe's fucked. I don't want to lose Europe. Like, I don't like this at all. I don't like this bullying Europe. I'm only a second generation immigrant from Europe. Like, it's just, I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable.
Europe should have pursued an independent path instead of hitching its wagon to the Americans, with everything on board.
Can you believe how stupid and feckless the EU leadership is? They are so liberal and retarded.
Purposefully that way.
Yes.
Purposefully that way.
Like, the EU Parliament and the NATO are both just centralization for the United States to have a central point of power and a central point of failure that they can control.
Yeah, for sure. And it really is the borderland. Like, it is the border between Russia and the Atlantic. And so the US basically sees that entire territory as basically one big buffer.
One big buffer. And here's one more from Trump for the road.
Understood how to deal with them, and I'm the tariff king, and the tariff king has done a great job, and I hope we win the Supreme Court case, because if we don't, be a shame for our country. Be a shame. We have
Tariff king. So now they're getting in a tariff war with each other. Europe is threatening 100 billion in tariffs, I believe. So we'll see how that goes. You guys might have seen the Maloney video where she's exasperated and she says, what do you want me to do? Are we going to close down our bases and storm the McDonald's?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, literally close down the bases and storm the McDonald's.
Close down the bases, close down the McDonald's, expel the US embassy, and just fucking Italy for Italians, and that's it.
For the mob. Italy for the mob. The mob and the Pope. It's better than the United States military. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for hanging out. Put me in a very good mood. The Twitter cleanse will continue. Hopefully, we'll get moved out of this failed state called the United States before it becomes the United States of Israel officially. But other than that, try to stay safe.
Super chats.
Super chats. Milestone. Thank you for being a 3-month member. Iran, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria. Probably be all one flag in like 10 years. Love you too. And Chris is, Juju's child is like really weird about you.
Say, give my love. Give my love.
Thank you for the super chat. No, I am deactivated. If you're coming here to stay sane, you're already insane.
Yep.
The mafia ain't exactly. Well, it depends which one. None of them are magically disappearing, but Delcy has to speak to Trump. Leaders speak to other leaders all the time. Exactly. Thank you for being nuanced and pragmatic, Naz. I just left an X space where they were debating whether Vance or Newsom would be the best choice in 2028. And it went as, that's why I left, Mickey. I'm not doing this. When they're ready to like really figure it out, I feel like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm like, when you guys are ready to like who the real us versus them is, I'll be around, but until then, I'm not really interested in engaging. Exactly. Thank you for always joining and supporting Will and for Mig, right wing, fed up clown world. Yep.
It is.
It is. But you guys take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.
Yes. Lots
try
of love.
To be nicer. We need some better energy out there. If you're staying on Twitter, try to bring some positive energy to that cesspool as best you can. Other than that, hope you enjoyed your weekend, and we will see you on Wednesday. I'll try to get a guest, and if not, you'll be stuck with us.
Yay!
And here's a cartoon that somebody told me was Korean, but I think it might be Japanese, but whatever. It's still hilarious. Anime about Oreshnik. You guys try to get through your Monday, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Take care, everyone.
ワナルはキーウ周辺のエネルギー基盤とドローン製造拠点を攻撃する。これにより敵の電力を断ち生産を締め上げることができる。ただし標的はポーランド国境のすぐ近くだ。やれ、全てを灰にしろ。